What's up, everyone? I'm Brian Jester here at Occupy Fantasy. We just finished recording our Week 4 XFL DFS live Twitch stream. You are about to watch that replay. We took your questions live, talked about some XFL DFS picks, lineup advice, and strategies for both FanDuel and DraftKings. Next time, make sure you're watching it live. Friday evenings or Saturday mornings, twitch.tv/Occupy Fantasy. That way you can get your questions answered as we record. Being a Twitch subscriber also gets you access to our Discord channel where we're talking about every sport every single day. Be sure to check it out. Again, you're about to watch that Twitch replay. We didn't talk about it on stream, but we are running that contest once again this week. Comment below with who you think the highest scoring DraftKings player will be this week. And if you are right, you have a chance to win a prize. No one's won the last 2 weeks, so let's see if someone can do it here in week 4. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. We really appreciate it and let you get notified when our latest videos are released. Again, twitch.tv/Occupy Fantasy is where you can watch these live. So here's our Week 4 XFL DFS Twitch stream replay.
What's going on is Week 4 XFL DFS, DraftKings and FanDuel advice. Maybe Yahoo will get in and some other people will get in later throughout the week, throughout the season. What's up, guys? I'm your host, Moose, at CFB_Moose on Twitter. I'm from OccupyFantasy.com, at OccupyFantasy on Twitter. I'm alongside our co-host, co-founder, co-family member. Does that count as well?
I don't know if I'm co-family member. I'm definitely a family member.
I was trying to say you're co-family. But Brian Jester FF on Twitter. Brian, what's up, man? How you feeling tonight?
What's up, Moose? I'm doing good. Now that I've been relegated to co-family, I don't know. It might have gotten a little worse.
Nice. So, yeah. So, XFL prize pools have gone down a little bit. Legal betting handles gone down a little bit. However, what has gone up is our recommended allocation for this week's slate. So I'm curious to talk with you for this next 30 plus minutes with our viewers, our chatters, our subscribers. So what was your first overall opinion about the slate?
Well, if you see on screen here, we have like this image has been burned into my nightmares. Cam Phillips, who I barely played any last week. Played the regression angle, and he scored about 50 FanDuel and DraftKings points. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing is figuring out what to do with this game. It's going to be likely the highest scoring game on the slate. Houston and Dallas, two teams that we tweeted out earlier this week. The neutral situation run and pass splits gives you an example, an insight into how these teams truly want to operate their offense when games are in the first 3 quarters, not 2-minute drills. Teams aren't trailing by 9 points or more, winning by more than 9 points, because that can skew the data based on the game plan. But both these teams pass the ball literally 75% of the time in these situations. So we have a high total game, pass-heavy offenses. It's going to be interesting. And these two guys on screen, Phillips and Walker, are just crazy priced, but for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at some of the totals across the board, the 2 games on Saturday, both totals are under 40. The DC Tampa Bay game on Sunday is at like 44, and then this game's at 50 and a half, going up since the opener. So people love this game, like you said before with the neutral splits. They just love to pass, and so that's only going to skew that over more and more. And maybe I'm Joe Public, but that's who I like. I like gaming stacking that. With the twist, I like going the Dallas route, actually, more Dallas heavy, just to get a little less ownership, a little cheaper players. But
plus you can fit in other players together.
Exactly.
Like with that, like if you play these two guys here, Phillips and Walker, and I see some people in the chat, Jalen Lamball, saying they were with us on the Cam Phillips fade last week. Hey, we're gonna try it again this week. We're gonna keep trying to play Sammy Coates fading Cam Phillips until eventually we're rich or bankrupt, one of the two. So I'm glad to have everyone here on our journey. But yeah, if you try to play these two guys, especially on DraftKings, this is like you can't really fit any legitimate players outside of them, so it's really tough.
Yeah. What do you always say? It's not how often you're right, but it's how much you win when you are.
It's very true. It's very true. We actually had a member ask us today, like, what our record is. Our prospective member asked us, the DM'd us, what's your record? And it's like, I mean, if I told you my record, you'd never sign up, right? Like, what, you win 15% of the time? Are you crazy? It's like, yeah, but I have a high risk approach. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, this is an interesting slate. I'm really excited to talk about it. And um, I had something else I was gonna say, but I forgot. Oh, it was about Cam Phillips. Like we keep saying fade Cam Phillips, fade Cam Phillips. But if you look at you charted all his air yards. I mean, his opportunity is massive. Like he should be scoring 20 to 25 fantasy points a week based on his usage, which is insane. That's like Michael Thomas type shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he shouldn't be scoring 40 and 50, which is what he's been doing.
It's so crazy. It's like we were talking about right before I got on stream that when I'm rewatching these games in slow motion, when I chart the air yards, get some advanced stats, and I'm looking at plays, some plays 2, 3, 4 times, and I'm just saying like, holy crap, this dude's like opportunities on every play, and he's just constantly getting like converting his opportunity. If it's a
Cam
fit,
Phillips, yeah.
yeah, yeah. If
So
it's a
whatever
fit,
reason, when Walker throws deep to Sammy Coates, it's good luck getting in the same zip code. But if he throws it to Cam Phillips, it's like it literally is like a millimeter from his heart. It's like every throw is perfect. Cam Phillips, it blows my mind.
yeah, it's crazy. So maybe I think this is going to be the week where that doesn't happen, or at least he regresses to what his projected is. So if he scores 15, 20, that's fine, because we're
Dude,
banking on other.
if he scores 20, I'll be fine. I'll be totally happy with him only scoring 20 points.
Yeah, I mean he leads the league in air yards for the 3 weeks.
Right, rightfully so.
By what 50, 40, 46 yards over Rocket Ross, which is insane on another conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so real quick, guys, we're going to be here for 30 plus more minutes. If you like what we do, make sure you go ahead and hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to be notified of when we'll upload new videos. If you're here on Twitch, make sure you hit that notification to be notified of when we go live in the future. And if you have questions, go ahead and ask them. If you're a subscriber and you have questions about specific players, make sure you go ahead and ask that in the chat below. If you're new around here as well, we'll get some of your questions answered. And Jackson in the chat here says Sammy cannot catch. He catches with his body and not his hands. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that's true. It's 100% true. But like, if you look at he's caught what, like 4 of his 15 targets.
Yeah.
Like if he just gets in the 60% range, 50% range, we're okay. Like just get 40% maybe. So, and a couple questions in the chat about game stacking. I know last week the big DraftKings GPP, I think it was a Saturday on FanDuel as well. Just because of the ridiculous like one-sided performance from Phillips and Walker, that a 2x1 stack was the way to go on DraftKings. However, if you still look at weeks 1 and 2 and look at the season as a whole, the top 0.1% of high-risk contest finishers are 3x1 stacking. So still small sample, but not much has changed from NFL, and 3x1 still the way we think you should go. And the first 2 weeks of XFL kind of bear that in mind.
Yep, absolutely. Question from Lamboss says, is the Flowers disappearance actually a bump for Tampa Bay receivers? Their usage looks legit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it keeps the quarterback in rhythm for one. Like Cornelius should play like 95% of these snaps, which is great. And he's like a prototypical passer. They've been using, and I think Flowers can actually throw some, but they just been using him in this like wildcat quarterback role, and it brings down the ceiling of the passing game tremendously just based on how they use him. So with Cornelius back there, should be more traditional offense, more passing, and that should bode well for those Tampa Bay receivers.
Yep. Jake in chat here. What's up, Jake? Says, do you think DC is going to bounce back this week?
Yeah, that was a rough showing for them. Yeah, they I don't know. It's actually a pretty tough matchup. Tampa Bay's not as bad as their record indicates. Their offense is pretty. The defense isn't too bad. So tough matchup. We'll see. Cardell is not in the league for a reason. He kind of showed that last week. So I'll be curious to see. I think they'll bounce back some. They can't play as poorly as they did in week 3.
And I do kind of have to disagree with you on that about Tampa Bay. Like you said, their defense is decent, but their offense just looks like they have never practiced or done anything ever in their life. They just do a pickup game
in the red zone, especially.
Yeah, and they're just like, you know what? All right, bet we just got 11 random people. Let's go out and try and play a football game. And just like no idea what's going on.
That's like that one flag football tournament we played.
Yeah, we paid like $1,000 so you just get our ass whooped.
Yeah. Day was over in about an hour.
Yep. What's up, Bismo? What's up, man? Glad to have you on here.
What's up,
Uh,
Biz?
all the chocolate milk says Christine Michael lock button and low risk this week.
No. If Matt Jones is ruled out officially, then we have a different conversation that we need to hold.
Mhm.
But the Dallas running backs usage is too good. We talked about it in the podcast. We talked about in the daily plug, which is up by the way, OccupyFantasy.com. It's fully up. But if you look at the running backs, like Cameron Artis-Payne is 8K on DraftKings, Dunbar 6.7K. Both these guys combined lead the league in running back targets. They are number 2 and number 3 in goal line opportunities. They are number 1 and number 2 in red zone opportunities. The way they're using them is just perfect for fantasy. And the fact that they combined for more than 100% of the snaps combined last week indicates that they were playing together a decent amount of time. So, Michael's in a good game script if Jones is out, but I mean, Payne and Dunbar, especially low risk contests, like their passing game involvement's too good to not use, and they're not priced heavy enough.
Okay, makes sense to me. Um, as Bismo points out, all the chocolate milk might be a better username than AOL Messenger.
Yeah, that guy. Gee.
Jake with a question says, is McBride over or underpriced this week?
Um, we'll see if he pulls a Cam Phillips on us. But I think he's way overpriced. Not to give away too much of the daily plug, but he's one of our fade guys this week. Guys you should look away from. He only played 16 snaps last week. I know he missed a decent portion of I think it was the fourth quarter, maybe late third quarter too, but he was still rotating in and out a lot. And his price has jumped significantly. He caught 2 touchdowns on like 6 routes last week or something crazy, 6 targets. So I think he's overpriced. I won't be playing him.
Okay. Makes
So
sense
we'll
to me.
know they're the first game on tomorrow. So we'll know how my weekend's going pretty quickly after that game.
Yeah, makes sense to me. So, all right, cool. Yeah, if you guys have questions, keep them coming. Like I said, we're here till at least 9:30 to help you out with any questions or comments you have about the slate. Um, Lamball said, what?
I'm just laughing at Jake's comment.
Says Parham going to continue to crush, or are you fading all the good players?
Yeah, that's what you come to Occupy Fantasy for. We tell you not to play any good players whatsoever. No, I still like Parham. His usage is ridiculous. He's super good,
Mhm.
and he's not priced as high as Cam Phillips. So, I mean, his numbers are stupid. Like he's running routes on the highest clip on the team. I mean, 24 targets. I mean, the nice thing about watching the games for XFL and hearing the coaches, you get an indication of who they really like, right?
Yeah.
And like when how Mummy's calling the plays is like Donald's gonna be open here, look for Donald, look for Donald. Even in the Houston games, it was week 3 especially. June Jones, the head coach, was saying, "All right, let's get some deep shots to Sammy Coates."
Yeah.
Later in the game, Andre Williams was in on a pretty important drive, and June Jones was like, "Wait, where's 28, James Butler? Where's 28? Get him in the game." Like you can see who these guys really like and who feel
Mhm.
comfortable with. And Parham is one of those dudes, and he's just not priced insane yet. And I'll still play some of them.
Yeah, and one of the good things about when I'm tracking these air yards and I put it in a Google sheet out every week, it includes air yards percent and target percent or team share, I guess you could say. And Parham's got a 32% air yard. He takes 32% of his team's air yards, which is really good for someone like him. He's crushing. The average depth of target under 10. That's a fantastic, not only a high risk play, but even a fantastic low risk play as well.
Yeah, his price is nearly doubled, like Jake says. So that's always concerning. I mean, we never like playing guys whose salaries increase that much, that
Yeah.
drastically. So there is some pause there for sure.
Mhm.
But his role is pretty solid.
Okay. Yeah. All right. A couple questions here. Jalen Westman. I don't know how you want to answer this. Brian says, "Who are your top 2 must-play wide receivers in GPP this weekend?"
God, I'm just gonna lose all my entire reputation on Sammy Coates. Um, yeah, Sammy Coates is maybe not number 1, but I like Sammy Coates a lot. There's one more that my mind's drawing a blank on. Give me a second here. I'll look it up.
Okay.
Just looking at our plug actually, see who we like. Um, I don't know. There's a couple guys that I really like. If Luis Perez starts for New York, that second guy for me would be Mikhail McKay, who Lucas points out here earlier in the chat was another one of those guys that coaches really trust.
Hmm.
Kevin Gilbride in his when he was mic'd up, you could hear him talking about getting the ball to McKay and whatnot. So McKay's a guy, and I think Adonis Jennings, he's minimum price on DraftKings for LA. He's run the second most slot snaps for LA behind Nelson Spruce. So with Nelson Spruce out, ideally Jennings gets some more catchable targets this week, and his price makes him really affordable, huge upside. So I think I named a few guys. So there you go.
Yep. Cool. All right. Cool. Yep. Keep them coming. Jack says 28 was gas trying to catch his breath on that play. And another comment says we got to find some cheaper guys. He likes Tolliver. You have any comment about that?
Yeah, I mean we love Tolliver again.
Hmm.
Pretty solid role. Um, yeah, and there's certainly some cheap guys too. Nobody was like super underpriced, like we've seen the first couple of weeks.
And that's what's
But
tough. And I was saying that's
yeah,
what's tough because a league with only 8 teams that doesn't have the best talent. There's a lot less parity in here than there is in NFL. Also with 32 teams, so it's kind of hard to find those like dirt cheap value plays.
yeah, really just looking for guys who are coming off injury or entering role changes, or guys who've just seen their salaries drop despite playing a good amount of snaps.
Hmm.
I mean, the salaries and the ownership is really reactionary in this format. So for high risk players, you should be in love with that, even if you haven't hit through 3 weeks.
Yep,
Raise
absolutely.
my hand on that.
All right, cool. We got the Prince in the chat. What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's
Uh,
up, the Prince?
I don't know how he has a founder badge. I don't even know what that means.
Oh
But
shit.
hey, thanks for being a 3 month subscriber, Prince.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Jalen says, "What do you think about Whitfield?"
Yeah, this is the dude you asked me if he had a nickname, right, Moose?
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, Kermit Whitfield. He's played a decent amount of slot snaps, but he's been kind of a gadgety part-time player. We'll see if they ramp him up any with Spruce out. I don't know. I like him on the 2 game slate for sure.
Yep. Jake said, "Is Stockton going to be the nuts?"
I wish they would just run him out to get Tim Cooks,
Yeah.
like just get him out of the picture and start running Stockton more. I like Stockton on the 2 game slate.
Yeah. Speaking of, this is gonna go off the rails. Speaking of the nuts, pause. I've been trying to get Fabi to watch the Rounders,
Oh, dude,
because she's never watched it, and she's just like, "Oh, it doesn't look good." And I was like, "Dude, trust me, it's good."
it's a great
I've been
movie.
trying to get her to watch it for like a month now, just so I can stay up till 4 a.m. and play online poker again.
That tell you, dude, that no movie will ignite your fuel to play poker like Rounders or do anything like Rounders can. I mean, you watch that movie, you're hyped to play some fucking poker.
The last time I watched it, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something, and I finished at like 1 in the morning, and I woke my girlfriend. I was like, "Yo, we got to go to MGM right now. We got to gamble. We got to do something." She was like, "No, just go to bed." I was like, "Fine, I'm going myself."
Dude, you're gonna get left like Matt Damon in the movie.
Oh yeah, as Jake says, that movie crafted a culture.
It actually did though. I mean that movie was just so well done, and um, obviously there's some parts that are a little uh not truthful as to how the actual poker scene works, but a lot of it was pretty damn good and spot on. So
Yeah,
especially like the '90s poker scene. So
exactly. Yeah. Jack says Saeed Blacknall.
yeah, he missed last week, and I think week 1 he had like 4 targets, 70 air yards, if I'm not mistaken. He missed last week. Should be back this week. Again, the XFL injury reporting is just not great at all. So especially in LA, Christ, they're so bad for the Wildcats. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Again, it's the early game, so we'll find out pretty soon.
Yeah. Let's see here. Jake says, "You think Reynolds or Pearl?" Pearl.
Yeah, there's just two opposite ends of the spectrum. Reynolds is vastly underperforming his role. Pro is vastly overperforming him. I mean, just game theory, what we know from how football works, Reynolds is the guy you want. I mean, he plays like literally every. So
Yeah.
only thing Pro has an advantage on his pro's like been playing receiver his entire life, and his dad was a Pro Bowl receiver, a Super Bowl winning receiver, so he has the pedigree. But Reynolds' usage has been higher in the XFL.
Okay, cool. Speaking of that, while we're waiting for some more questions, guys, if you like what we do, make sure you hit that follow button and turn your notifications on. We notify when we go live. We're going to be doing some streaming more often, trying to do at least 2 to 3 times a week. I think you're going to be doing some spring training pretty soon. We can get back on the NBA, NHL grind. Got some March Madness stuff going on too. That'll be a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
and
fun.
you and Wally doing a March Madness one?
We should be doing one next week. Still got to finalize the date and time, but
Cool.
it should be really fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. March Madness is we'll have some content around this. Like I think we'll just have like videos and podcasts, nothing written, but like March Madness bracket pools are if you played a DFS GPP and knew what the ownership was for every single player before it started.
Yeah.
Like that should super excite you, and that's what March Madness bracket pools are.
Yes. And for those who don't know, Waleed is the chief bracketologist of Occupy. He has gone, it's like 3 or 4 years. He's won big bracket pools.
Yeah, like literally 1,000 people. He's won the bracket 2 of the last 3 years, which is insanity.
Yeah, it's incredible. Um, and so yeah, so we'll have him on. We'll be talking about how to how to bet March Madness, looking at futures, how to line shop, betting individual games, how to tackle March Madness pools, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you bring your questions there too. It'll be a lot of fun. So, yeah. All right. The Prince says, "What quarterback do y'all like for Saturday only slates?"
It's the grossest slate. I say just go Josh Johnson and differentiate the rest of your lineup. But if Luis Perez starts for New York and it's confirmed that he's gonna be treated like a starter, and not gonna like mix and match and do bullshit and bring in Marquise Williams every couple drives. uh, I really like Luis Perez in a high risk contest. Low risk, just lock in Josh Johnson. Even high risk probably, unless it's like a really big GPP.
Yeah, I was gonna say when the couple of snaps we saw Luis Perez play, he was actually pretty good. I liked him from the AAF. Shout out
Yeah.
Chris. And so he should be doing pretty. I think if he gets the full game start, he's definitely in consideration.
Yeah, agree for sure. Again, of course, no one knows, so we'll just be waiting on the edge of our seats tomorrow.
Yeah. As Lucas points out, University of Illinois to win the Natty, all in, which means they will absolutely lose the first round.
For those, I mean, no one would know this, but like in our staff chat, Lucas has lost probably every dollar he's made on spring training betting on Illinois. So gotta stick with the brand.
Yep. All right. Jake says, "Can Seattle make St. Louis actually throw the balls?"
Probably not. They like run the ball too. They're just worse at it. So it's not really a good recipe for making the other team throw the ball.
Yeah. Awesome testimonial here from Jalen. He says, "I keep forgetting to say thank you for your Super Bowl prop bet show and guide. I went 17-2 on props. That's awesome, man. That's crazy.
That's legit, dude. That's what I mean. We live for that every year. We put that together. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, everyone knows the drill here. We go out to Vegas every year for it. So happy to hear that that you took good work, Jalen.
Now it is going to be pretty interesting to see because when we go out next year, there'll be 2 less operators out in Vegas. So curious to see how. What?
I was gonna say that's interesting, but also gonna be interesting when I win a seat into this tournament of millionaires that's happening during next year's Super Bowl. So
Okay.
we'll have to see. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Lucas says he's 0-5 when betting the fight in Illinois. So hashtag not good.
Well, like Sammy Coates, regression is coming, Lucas.
Yes. The EV was there.
Yeah.
The EV was there. All right. Cool. So let's see. Anything you kind of want to talk about for next couple minutes?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link if you can bring this up.
Okay.
I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing. This DraftKings tournament of millionaires. I don't think it's actually called that, but it's something along those lines.
Okay. Is it just everyone who's ever won $1 million tournament?
No, that'd be tight. It's so they have 30 different contests this year. They
Okay.
have they have this for fantasy sports and they have it for sports betting.
Okay.
And where the hell is this thing? It's on the DraftKings promo page. here it is, the championship series. So they have no, it's 40. So 40. I'm seeing this link so you can put it on screen. 40 fantasy contests throughout the year, and it's all like the biggest ones. It's like the NFL millionaires, the PGA millionaires, the live finals, the online championships.
Okay.
Every single one of those winners. So it's only 40 people on Super Bowl Sunday. Go down to Tampa Bay and compete in a 40-person contest for $1 million prize.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let me send it to you here. And then on the sports betting side, they have it. I'm not sure what the qualifications are, but so they have this. This is on DraftKings. They have the spring championship, which is next month. It revolves around basketball. Then they have the fall one, which is football and baseball. But then late in the year, they have a sports betting national championship, which is I guess some combination of the two. So should be interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious. I know I got the email. They're offering some promos on entering into that sports betting championship. So check your emails if you're thinking about getting into that. I really think that these like sports betting tournaments are going to be the new future. Instead of just you betting against the house, you're going to be betting against other players, kind of like how DFS is. I know Circus Sports out in Vegas, they're doing a $3 million guarantee prize for their contest, for their super contest for NFL. So I think that I what do you think? Do you think something like that's going to be the new future?
Dude, if they just put a lobby on DraftKings Sportsbook and you could play sports betting GPPs, I would move all my money and start playing there. Be so sick. Like literally, like you play for a night and you start with a bankroll and you whoever has the highest score at the end of the night or the weekend or whatever it may be. It's like it's the greatest way to sports bet.
And not even and only that, it's just like the sports books wouldn't even have to manage their lines as bad. They just take a rake out of it or whatever, and you're good.
Right, it's just whatever the opener is. You use that line, and then if a star player is ruled out, that game becomes a chalk player, high ownership player, right? Like it's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I love the idea.
Nice. Cool. So, guys, if you have questions, we'll be here for 5 or so more minutes. Keep them coming. Let's see here. We haven't talked about this, but showdown strategy. How
Okay.
has it? Has it changed compared to the last couple of weeks? Whereas the low total games, put the running back in, high scoring games, we put the wide receiver in. Generally speaking, like any advice you want to tell people out here?
Yeah, we're still obviously tracking all of that. Receivers are definitely worth more than running backs in the XFL so far.
Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily are we low risk running back in it at captain just yet. I think the exceptions there are like the St. Louis game. We saw it last week. Matt Jones was the optimal captain.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the same exact case this week. The LA game's interesting. It's just that the LA game for showdown is like no good players. So writing that low risk section for the plug was just like all these players suck. None of them really low risk. So it's yeah, so it's interesting.
Wow, crazy. Okay, cool. As Jake points out, is Cap going to bust without garbage time all run fourth quarter?
Yeah, it's been kind of bullshit the last 2 weeks, but they should be trailing. But that should mean he'll be using the passing game more, so it might offset it.
Yeah.
He might even score more. I don't know.
Okay. Perfect. All right, cool. As we're waiting for more questions, I will say this was crazy to hear. Speaking of sports betting and stuff, the Oregon Lottery, which runs their only sports book, they literally have a monopoly on mobile sports wagering, and they lost money for the first year.
Wait, who did?
The Oregon Lottery.
How? Don't they? Are they the ones that like super shade Oregon games, or they don't shade Oregon games?
So there's an actual casino, like a tribal sports book that's not affiliated with the state's a tribe, and they super shade Oregon games. They crush. They're awesome.
Yeah, of course. Of
Well,
course
they were smart. They actually reached out to one of the sports books out in Vegas that's really sharp and said, "Hey, bro, we're not really sure what we're doing. Can you give them some advice?" And they were like,
smart.
they basically just like shade Oregon games and you crush. But no, yeah, Oregon Lottery, it's dumb. They had trouble where you could barely parlay things. You couldn't bet college, and they just got waxed. So they lost, I think, $1 million their first year.
That's unbelievable.
It's
a jailable offense. to lose money running a sports book, you should be thrown in jail. Seriously, how's that even possible?
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, speaking of sports books, we're working on something really soon, to announce something really soon. That's going to take Occupy Fantasy to the next level. I really think. So stay tuned for that. If you're not followed us on Twitter at Occupy Fantasy, definitely check us out there.
Or if you're not in the Discord, which we're dropping hints already. So
Yep, absolutely. Jake says Sam Mobley will outscore Sam Coates. Hot take.
yeah.
As Notum says, I might outscore Sam Coates. What's up, Notum?
I had an idea for a tweet that is not very PC, so I'm just gonna keep it to myself, and maybe I'll. But it's about Sammy Coates' ability to catch.
Did you say PC or PG?
Both, honestly. It's probably not.
Fair enough.
We'll leave it. But Sammy Coates, the point is he can't catch. So this is the week, though. Honestly, this is the week. He's gonna do it this week.
Yep, he is the week. He is he is the top underperforming wide receiver in the plug.
Yeah, note him. That is exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Jake, we say it every week, and we're gonna keep saying it. And if you're right, people judge you on your most recent predictions. So if we just keep saying he's it, and he hits, doesn't matter if we're 1 for 6. The most recent one we hit, therefore we're right.
Just margin out bet it.
Yeah.
So when you're right, you're good. All right, cool. We'll be here for another minute or so. So rapid fire questions, guys, and then we'll get up out of here. If you're a subscriber, we'll still be in the Discord. You can always ask questions in the Discord. We're shooting shit all the time in there, having great conversations. Tommy and Garrett are actually in a live final, so up in New York. I'm curious to see how that's going to be treating them.
Man, whatever bootleg event they're at, wouldn't even give them a link to the contest. So that sucks. I was hoping to follow along.
I honestly think it's just their phones are shit.
I mean, maybe that's true too, but even the official FanDuel accounts haven't tweeted out any link or anything. So
maybe, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So, cool beans. All right. You have any last words, Ryan, before I take us out of here?
Jake has a final question. Jake's been driving this conversation, so thanks, Jake. And a lot of key points here. Tanner Gentry, activated from IR for New York. We played him a ton in NFL preseason DFS for the Bears. Pretty decent college resume.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what his role is going to be, but we do know the official team account has tweeted about him at least one time so far. We know by the DeAndre Tompkins rule, if he gets tweeted about 3 total times, he's a lock button play. So we'll be watching closely tomorrow for 2 more Tanner Gentry tweets from the Guardians account. If you see number 2 and number 3, just go ahead and lock them in.
Yeah, 3 is that key number.
Yep, 3 is key. It's the DeAndre Tompkins rule.
Yep, absolutely. As Notum says, he's going to have 11 targets for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I know you said 11 routes. That's the Trey McBride rule.
Different. Nice. True. All right, well, guys, thank you all for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure again hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification to be notified of when we upload new videos. If you're here on Twitch, make sure you hit that like button. Turn your notifications on in your settings so you get notified of when we go live in the future. From OccupyFantasy.com, I'm Moose at CFB_Moose on Twitter. I brought on Brian at BrianJesterFF to talk about some XFL DFS. With that being said, guys, have a good one and let's win some money.
Peace.